Hey, Dan here, and today I'm going to share my 6 musts for an amazing morning routine as an ENFP. Now, you might be looking for the perfect ENFP morning routine, and I have some bad news for you. It doesn't really exist. I've been coaching ENFPs for years now, and of course I am one myself. And the one thing I've found about routines is that the perfect routine for an ENFP is often the new routine that we are most excited about. And therefore we have this energy to actually follow through and stick to it. And also because it's new, it's probably more designed about what we're actually trying to achieve in the moment. I've been working for myself for almost a decade now, and during that time I've had phases where I've been writing a book and that's about it. I've had phases where I'm having 15 coaching calls a week. I have phases where I'm doing some combination of all of the above. Or times like today where it's just an offline day. I haven't turned my phone on and I'm just working on filming videos. And so the same routine probably doesn't work throughout the lifetime. But what I have found is there's certain elements that for me as an ENFP are essential to a successful morning routine. And I will take these elements and remix them a little bit depending on what my goals are for that period in my life. So I have 3 don'ts and 3 do's. And we're gonna start with the first don't, which is don't eat that frog. There's an old book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. And it's basically about doing that difficult thing that you're putting off first thing in the day so that you don't dread it for the rest of your day. That makes sense in theory, right? Like get up, handle that, then you'll feel good for the rest of the day. The thing is how much excitement and energy do you wake up with when the first thing you have to do is something that you're really dreading doing? Not a lot usually. So that leads us to our first do, which is focus on one thing which can be a win for the day, which is important and is something you actually enjoy doing. For me, this tends to be creative elements. Maybe it's to write for 2 hours or film a few videos or record some podcasts or plan out a training I'm doing later in the week, but something that I actually enjoy doing, but that's important. And the thing with this is you might have heard, maybe just a rumor, that occasionally ENFPs get distracted. Never happened to me ever. Not once, but I've heard it happens occasionally to other people. So when you start your day off with something that's important and you get it done, so then if something comes up later in the day, like, I don't know, you have to save a family from a burning building or advise the prime minister on a global crisis, something like that comes up, right? Then you can look back at your day and you'll still feel good because you've got something important done. And if you look back over a month, if 5 days a week, 7 days a week, however much you're working, you do something important every single day, even if it's only an hour of your day, I can guarantee you're going to have a lot more success over that month than if you spread things out in a totally different fashion. The other bonus of doing this is you feel good about yourself. And I used to think that if I do something really important and it's done, I'll lose that momentum for the day. I'll think, oh, I've got something done, I can go be lazy now. But actually what happens with me is I feel really good that I've got that thing done and then I do more. And so I'm actually more productive later in the morning or in the afternoon because I did this one important thing. I feel great about myself and it's built some very positive momentum. Speaking of momentum, be careful about starting your day with anything passive that you can get caught up in and want to stick around with, like a 2-hour interview on a podcast or a video series somewhere or a Netflix show or anything like that. Can get very easy for us to hijack our brains essentially. And you start listening to this podcast, you just thought I'd listen for 15 minutes while I have breakfast or whatever it is, and then an hour and a half goes by, you're thinking about the subjects they were talking about on the podcast, and you haven't really got into that main thing you wanted to do, that most important thing for your day. So some media and material is okay. Of course, all Dreams Around the World and Dreams Around the World related media is, of course, approved for this. No, I'm just kidding. But some stuff is a bit better than others. But my rule when I really want to ensure my days go well is nothing, no input until I get through that one most important thing, just to be on the safe side of it. Now, our second do here for an amazing ENFP morning routine is to do get moving, to do something that is going to get your body going. Could be going for a walk, going for a run, doing something at home as well, some kind of home exercise. I personally like leaving the house. I think there's something about the stimulus of walking around, seeing other people, seeing other just things, having that variety to start off the day. I think that can be very positive. I think one of my favorite parts about running is running in just new areas that I haven't been to and seeing things in that way. But whatever you do, do something where you are getting moving in the day. So get up, get going. It's a great way to build momentum for the day. And it's, again, one of those wins. Like if it's something that you don't currently do, go for a walk or run in the morning, let's say. If you start doing it, now you have another win. And feeling good about yourself and building that positive momentum is really, really important. So not only does getting moving change the way you think and function, it also builds your confidence in yourself and that positive momentum in the day. Speaking of feeling good about yourself, our last don't is don't open social media no matter what. In fact, I would strongly discourage you from opening any inbox in the morning. That includes WhatsApp, text messages, and email, but especially the old social media. As ENFPs, our primary function is extroverted intuition. This is where we think about all the possibilities. When someone asks us a question, we don't usually turn to them and say, here's the exact answer, there's only one way to do it, like maybe an ESTJ would. We think about all the options and the possibilities and what could even be done that's never been done before. And what happens when you open an inbox of questions? Like you open your WhatsApp first thing in the morning and you have messages from a friend saying, hey, do you want to do something on Friday? What should we do? You have a message from your partner saying, hey, we should take a trip together. What would you like to do? Where should we go? You start to think of these, guess what you've just done? You've loaded in these questions into your extroverted intuition. And whether you want to or not, your brain is now using a huge amount of its processing power to answer these questions in the background or the foreground. So an hour later, maybe you just find yourself a bit more drained than you normally would be because you've been thinking about this. Or maybe more likely you find yourself on a flight site looking at flights or looking at restaurant reviews, figuring out where you should go. Questions are very dangerous for us. And pretty much any inbox that exists is a question factory. You open your inbox and there are questions there and things to think about. Some days are not going to be bad. Some days are no problem, but other days will be. And unfortunately, there's no way to predict when that will happen. And of course, with social media specifically is in most cases, it's not set up to make you the happiest. Now, I know some people who have their news feeds really well set up. My girlfriend's news feed just makes her laugh. It's all funny and inspiring videos because that's what she reacts to and likes. There's very little politics and other stuff on it. But in many cases, myself included, when I do look at feeds and that, I don't have a good feeling from it. It doesn't leave me anything positive. So don't do that. That's a pretty simple rule. How you start your day is probably going to carry over in terms of your moods and energy and that as well. And it's usually for most people the time of the day where you have the most energy and focus. So don't waste it on any kind of inbox. Speaking of your energy, and this is our last do here, is take a moment to remind yourself of your why and what your intentions for the day were. And by intentions, it can be something like, I intend to be a more positive, loving human being today. That's great. It can also just be reviewing your to-do list, which you should always write the night before. I might make a whole nother video on this and why this is important with how our brains function, but your to-do list should be done the night before, never the morning of. So when I say review your intention, it can even just be getting up and looking over, here's what I'm going to do today, and going through that list. When you first wake up in the morning, you have a bit of a blank slate. So it's really a great time to load up your intention, what you want to get done, maybe how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish, and get that in before some other crap gets into your mind, right? So always review what you want to get done in the day first before getting into any kind of inbox, any kind of other input from other people that has a huge chance of hijacking your day. As I said at the start, I do not think there is one perfect ENFP morning routine. I think we have to adjust it based on our phases in life and who we are and just to have some novelty. but these elements I have found consistently lead to a great morning routine for myself. And I would encourage you to pick at least a few of them, if not all of them, to add to your morning routine. If you are new to the channel, my name is Dan. I am an ENFP as well. And at Dreams Around the World, my mission is to help you become the best version of yourself, all while creating the most awesome life possible for you and those you love. So do hit the subscribe button. I publish new videos each and every week, very often for ENFPs. And if you would like, I do have a free training series as well, specifically for ENFPs. And you can get that at dreamsaroundtheworld.com/ENFP training. See you in the next video.